What happens when the fiercely independent Ice Queen's realm is shattered, and her only hope for survival is to surrender to the monstrous Vampyre King whose fire threatens to melt her carefully frozen heart? In Spark of the Everflame, the breathtaking, unapologetically spicy, and fiercely action-packed first installment of Penn globally beloved The Kindred's Curse saga, listeners are thrust into a treacherous, elemental world where ancient magic, deadly politics, and forbidden desire collide with devastating force. The story follows Saeris, the formidable and battle-hardened fae of the Ice Block, whose life is upended when her frozen sanctuary is violently invaded. Stripped of her freedom and thrust into the opulent, blood-soaked court of the vampires, she finds herself at the mercy of Aiden, the devastatingly lethal, shadow and fire-wielding Vampyre King. Aiden is a monster of ancient power, a dark, brooding anti-hero whose very presence radiates a scorching, lethal heat. When his eyes lock onto Saeris, a primal, inescapable, and deeply dangerous bond ignites between them, blurring the razor-thin lines between captive and captor, enemy and ally. Cole masterfully crafts a spectacular dark romantasy aesthetic, blending the high-stakes, elemental magic dynamics of classic epic fantasy with the unapologetically spicy, monster romance tension that keeps listeners up until dawn. As Saeris navigates a treacherous labyrinth of deadly vampire politics, ancient curses, and her own awakening, volatile magic, she realizes that the ice in her veins is no match for the fire in his soul. The enemies to lovers tension crackles with undeniable, white-hot chemistry, evolving from bitter resentment and lethal sparring into a scorching, soul-deep devotion. The audiobook experience of Spark of the Everflame is an absolute auditory triumph, elevated by dynamic, emotionally resonant narration that perfectly captures Saeris' gritty, unyielding defiance, Aiden's gravelly posse,